Hello and welcome to another episode of Talking Politics on the Hindu's YouTube channel. I'm Nistula Hebbar, political editor of the paper, and as always, I will be going behind stories that are making the headlines in domestic politics all of last week. Now, this week, we look at the issue of lateral entry into India's bureaucracy, its steel structure, as we call it, and the controversy created by the Union Public Service Commission, UPSC's advertisement for filling 45 posts of joint secretaries, deputy secretaries, and director level jobs via lateral entry without the benefit of reservations. Let's start right out by finding out what is lateral entry and what has happened last week. Well, as per the Department of Personnel and Training, which we shall refer to as the DOPT, lateral recruitment is an initiative of the government to achieve the twin objectives of bringing in fresh talent as well as augmenting the availability of human resources at mid-management levels within the government for specific assignments, keeping in view specialized knowledge and expertise in the domain area. Now, this would be without the benefit of the All India exams that bureaucrats need to crack to get into the bureaucracy. Now, the Niti Aayog in 2017 had recommended some degree of lateral entry into the bureaucracy as per a report on reforms in governance, citing that specialization was needed in certain areas, especially economic and technical ministries, which the generalist IAS did not possess in a huge degree. You see, you crack an exam when you're, basically a graduate or a postgraduate, and you have you've specialized in different subjects. But once you get in, you have to look at general administration and other such assignments. So if you're going into a thoroughly technically bound ministry like, say, economic affairs or, IT and communication, etc., you need possibly people who have domain knowledge of the market, of the technical know-how to effectively work as administrators there to shape policy, etc., which joint secretaries actually have a huge hand in doing. Now, as I said before, this report was in 2017, but even before that, there had been sporadic lateral entries under previous governments, including, as the current government has been saying in its defense, that of former Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh, an economist who was drawn into the bureaucracy in the for the Indian Economic Service under the Congress governments of the past. I think former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi had been instrumental in drawing him into government service. Then we had the case of one of the Infosys founders, Nandan Nilekani, who was heading the Aadhaar identification project under the UPA government. There have been several other examples of people drawn from other facets of life into the bureaucracy to serve the government of the day. Now, what is the difference now? Under the NDA government, we have seen since 2019 as many as 63 posts that have been filled through the lateral route. Now, the positions were open to candidates from the private sector, state governments, as well as public sector undertakings, autonomous bodies, statutory organizations, universities, and recognized research institutions. Now, they were drawn in for a tenure that could range between 3 to 5 years with the government. Now, in 2021, for 3 posts of joint secretaries, 27 posts of directors, and 13 posts of deputy secretaries, the commission received a total of 295 applications, 1247 applications, and 489 applications, respectively. All of this data is available in the Hindu in an excellent explainer done by my colleague Vijeta Singh. You could go through the data if you really require that. And the UPSC, through this data, had combed through it, went through the interview process, and recommended candidates for 31 posts. And the remaining 12 posts became infructuous. They didn't find anybody that they really liked for those posts. And this data is drawn through the annual report of the UPSC. Now, this is just the data. What about the politics? After all, this is talking politics, and we have to go behind the issue of the day to look at what is the politics that is driving this issue. Now, on August 17th, the UPSC advertised lateral recruitment for 45 posts, as I had mentioned earlier. This was for joint secretaries, deputy secretaries, and director level appointments in various ministries and departments of the government. Now, this move led to an outrage on social media as quota benefits are not applied for such single post recruitments. The leader of the opposition in the Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi, termed the recruitment an anti-national step as it was openly snatching away, and I'm quoting him, the reservations for scheduled castes, scheduled tribes and other backward classes in government jobs. Now, the government tried to mount a stout defense, stating that, as I again mentioned earlier, that Congress-led and other governments had recruited laterally previously, and when such requirements were there, and that the NDA government's move was actually doing the same in a streamlined, transparent fashion. So basically, the government was saying that previous governments have done it. They've just not advertised. They've just drawn people, whoever they wanted, they gave appointment letters to. At least we are, advertising for this post, specifying the qualifications that are needed. And they also mentioned that this would, the number that was advertised or the lateral entries into the government have actually been just 0.5% of the whole employment strength, of the whole strength of the bureaucracy. Now, but the situation for the government got a little tough when NDA ally Chirag Paswan of the Lok Janshakti Party, Ram Vilas, also said that he was against such recruitment without the benefit of reservations, and added that he would be raising this issue in the union cabinet, of which he is a part. Now, following this backlash, on August 20th, Union Minister for Personnel, Dr. Jitendra Singh, wrote to the UPSC Chairperson to cancel the advertisement, asking for norms of recruitment from outside the government to be reviewed, and keeping equity and social justice in mind, basically working back. Hours later, UPSC cancelled the advertisement as requested by, and I quote, the requisitioning authority, which is the government of India. Obviously, a backlash from the opposition and even its own allies have forced the government to walk back from this lateral entry project. Apart from the reaction to this specific set of lateral entry and the recruitment process issue, there were other quite latent reasons for the BJP-led NDA to dial back on lateral entry. Now, during the Lok Sabha campaign of 2024, and yes, this goes back to that fateful election campaign, during the Lok Sabha campaign of 2024, a major campaign plank of the opposition had been that the BJP had been asking for a massive brute majority of 400 par, or beyond 400 seats in the Lok Sabha, to effect fundamental changes to the Indian constitution, which may include the removal of reservations for SC, ST and OBCs. They said Samvidhan mein badlav, which is changes in the constitution. This was a phrase that echoed through that campaign for the Lok Sabha. This was a response to the BJP's slogan of Ab ki baar 400 par, which is this time around beyond 400 seats. And even though throughout the campaign, the BJP was at pains to shoot down this plank, but some of its own leaders like Lalu Singh, former MP from Ayodhya, Jyoti Mirdha, BJP candidate from Nagaur, former Union Minister Anand Hegde from Uttara Kannada, they basically effectively added fire to the opposition's campaign. They said that big changes to come, for a government to be strong and take decisive decisions, a 400 seat majority is what is required. And the opposition said, hear it from BJP MPs themselves, or BJP leaders themselves. This is why the BJP wants such a huge brute majority. This actually did create a resonance on the ground, and BJP insiders have said that this particular campaign of Samvidhan Badal Denge saw a large part of Dalit and OBC votes shift to India bloc parties, especially in Uttar Pradesh, and was positively instrumental in ending the BJP's single party majority status in the Lok Sabha. Thus, the question of a job here is not just about a job. Coveted government services going without the benefit of reservations appear to be taken as a move to subvert the reservation policy, a dangerous political idea for any party that wants to appeal to a cross-section of voters. Hence, this initiative was dead in the water. It is not known whether recruitments will again be opened through the lateral route, with or without reservations, or with or without advertisements. One thing is sure though, reservations, employment, and the constitution continue to occupy center stage in India's domestic politics long after the last drums for the campaign for Lok Sabha 2024 have fallen silent. We will be visiting the story again because, as you know, that in Indian politics, nothing ever truly dies. But for this week, I end this week's episode. Thank you so much for watching.